Leah here, and today I'm going to be telling you guys all the bands that I fell for this year in 2017. So I just thought of this idea really randomly and I did a bit of research and I thought, maybe someone would be interested in that. So I went through all the artists that are like in my favorites playlist and I realized that a lot of my favorite artists I did fall in love with this year. So I thought it would be worth it to let you guys know who I fell in love with this year. Bands, of course, bands. So some of these are going to be bands that I have heard of before and it just took me a while to get into them. Maybe they released an album this year that I thought was amazing and now I'm suddenly a fan of theirs. Or some of them I might have only heard of this year, so. And all the bands that I'm going to mention are bands that I've listened to consistently, like more so than other bands throughout the year, so. Oh no, I'm losing my dog. Lucy! Don't leave. Do you want to leave? Aww, I don't want you to leave. Alrighty, I can't remember where I was, but let's just get straight into it. Here are the bands that I became a fan of this year. The first band I want to talk about is Melons and Composure. Now, I can't remember if I listened to these guys last year or only this year. I really can't remember, but I know that they definitely became a lot more a part of my life when I started dating Jake. So they are an American alternative rock band, I would say, and their songs are dark, emotional, and impacting. Like, if I had to have a definition for Balance and Composure, dark, emotional, impacting, like that is Balance and Composure. To me, they pack a punch, and they make me feel what they are playing, whether it's the vocals, the guitar, whatever it is, I feel it. And I like a band that makes me feel something. So they've definitely become one of my most listened to bands throughout this year.
There she goes, she flies out to the East Coast off the States, but I'll remain here alone, following my own ghost, trying to live another day. I'm tired of being sick and I'm sick of being wasted. It's hard to admit that I'm hung up on the same shit.
The second band I want to touch on is Waster, and they are a British pop punk band. So I think I found their EP on Spotify through like related artists and stuff like that. And I remember me and Jake listening to their EP with South Drive on it like quite a little bit throughout January and stuff. And then I don't think I went too much further than that. And then their album came out and I didn't mind it. I didn't listen to it heaps though, to be honest. And then fast forward even more months, they did a tour with Trashbird, which Jake, between you and me, was on as well. So therefore I got to hear their music a lot. And they're really good dudes, and I really enjoy their music. They're just easy pop punk, like they're just simple to listen to. If you're just wanting to listen to some pop punk music, they're a good band to just listen to. And they definitely provide that for me, and I'm so super glad that I got into them this year because some of their songs definitely highlight a lot of the year for me. The next band is a band from Melbourne and they are called Stuck Out. And I want to say they're punk rock, but I'm not too sure if I'll get in trouble for that, so I guess we'll find out after this video if I get in trouble for saying punk rock. I feel like they like to be just called rock. So Josh, the lead singer, has a really deep voice. And because it's so deep and grunty, it really makes you feel what he's singing. And a lot of their songs are really emo, and I like that. I like it a lot. And they are a tiny little band and they are just growing, and I would really encourage you guys to check them out if you haven't, because they definitely have been a big part of my year in terms of falling in love with their music and then them as human beings. They're really top fellas and you should really check them out. This next band I know is going to surprise some people. It is the Australian band Trophy Eyes. Yes guys, I only got into them about like 4 months ago. I want to say they're like a heavy punk rock band, give or take. And my fuel for my appreciation for them started when we saw them live on that Trashbird tour that I was just talking about a little bit before. Jake and I were lucky enough because of the Trashbird boys to go see the show, and I tell you what, it changed my opinion completely. I liked a few songs of Chemical Miracle, but I wasn't like diehard for it at all. And I know everyone was, like freaking everyone was. I just didn't have the vibes for it, I just didn't. And after seeing it live, I totally get it. I've already talked about this before on my channel, but if you haven't seen it, I totally get Trophy Eyes now, like I really do. From their live performance, They make you feel the emotion that they are trying to project. And you can really, really see how impacting they are from watching the crowd. Like, you can tell they are touching people's hearts from looking at the crowd at their shows. Like, it was mind-blowing to me to see the impact of this band, and I just totally get it now. Their songs are dark and emotional, and their audience appeals to that, and that's what they feel as well, and I get it. And I really freaking dig it now. My last few months of my life has been listening to Chemical Miracle so much. It's become one of my most played albums of the year, and I know it didn't even come out this year, so there you go. Another Australian band. I just realized I had 3 Australian bands in a row. So the next band is Our Past Days, and they are from Sydney, and they are resting in peace. They are no longer a band, and it's really sad that they're over, but I really want to appreciate what they've got, and I'd love to tell you guys about it. So I didn't listen to Our Past Days at all, sadly. Sorry, Matt. Before Between You and Me got to support them on their final shows for their like going away by Our Past Days. So literally about 2 days before the show, Jake showed me Bloom Where You're Planted, and I cannot tell you how much that song has impacted my year. This song to me is one of my favorite songs of the year, and it didn't come out this year, and I feel kind of like about talking about them because they are over, so it's kind of like you can't get any more from them. But we need to appreciate what they have already, because what they've got is good, and seeing them live was awesome. And I can't emphasize enough how good the song Bloom Where You're Planted is and how much it has meant to me this year. So do yourself a favor and check out Our Past Days. I've got an album and an EP. I think they might have 2 EPs. I don't know. But a lot of my favorite songs are off the EP and a few off the album, so please go check them out if you like your darker, like punk rock style. Another Australian band, Bukowski. They're a Melbourne alternative rock band. Hopefully I don't get that wrong, that's what I would call them. But their music is just emo, and I like emo music. And their live set is awesome, and they really, like most of the artists I've spoken about today, pack a punch, and they make you feel what they're trying to get you to feel. I think they do it very, very well.
Have I been pushing pen to paper instead of catching up on sleep? I'm overthinking every word that I write down.
Another band that I want to speak about is a band that I have mentioned a few times throughout this video. It is Between You and Me, and it is my man's band, so I don't want you guys to be thinking that I'm a bit biased with this, but I really do want to give them a shout out for all that they've been doing and what they have done. So they're a pop punk band. They've been signed to Hopeless Records, and they're really, really gonna go far. They have an EP called Paper Thin, which I freaking jam to. I admittedly didn't know about them before I met Jake, but I've since seen the live show a tremendous amount of time, and I find them really fun live, and they're a really good band to scream your heart out to. So if you do see Between You and Me on a show somewhere, please go and see them. But if you haven't heard about them, please go check them out. Paper Thin is their EP. They also have a song called Cavalier, which is a banger despite what other people will say. And I'm just really proud of their efforts and what they've done. And I really feel like if you are subscribed to me, you probably listened to them before. But if you haven't, please go check them out for some really good pop punk music.
I know that nothing I write you can change what you've been through. I hope you found some room to grow.
My final band that I want to speak about that I have really fallen for this year is Trashbird. Now they're another British pop punk band, and I didn't listen to them at all before the Between You and Me boys did a tour with them. So this is the same Waster Trashbird Between You and Me tour, and also Seaway did a show as well. So that was that. And through the Between You and Me boys being blessed with getting that tour, I found a lot of my favorite artists of the year, so thanks guys. I suppose that's what shows are meant to do. Isn't it really? That's what a lineup's meant to do. It worked. And after this tour, I was totally addicted to their album. Like, honestly, addicted. It flows incredibly well together, this album. It really, really is a nice album to listen to as a whole. And it shows a lot of diversity. It's just not straight pop punk the whole time. It's got a lot of different inflections and stuff, and I really like it, and I think they pull it off so well. Their live show is amazing, and themselves as humans are really good guys. So they're definitely a band for me that has shaped the last half of my year with my listening, and I really dig that. Alrighty guys, that is the end of my bands that I've fallen in love with this year, and I really would encourage every single one of you to check out every single one of those bands that I spoke about today, because they all are so deserving of it and really have impacted my listening in this year. And this is not to say this is all I listened to this year. These are just the bands that I've fallen in love with this year. There's also a lot of other bands that I've been listening to this year as well that I've just been in love with for a very long time. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give a big old thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. We put up videos every Thursday here on the Short But Crazy one. If you guys have any band suggestions for me, please leave them down below in the comments and I will check them out. And if you guys love some of these bands too, please let me know your stories with them in the comments, because that'd be sick to hear. Like, I think the process of hearing a band and falling in love with them is beautiful and like sacred, and I freaking love it. So please share some of your stories down below. Alrighty guys, I love you all so much, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!